Hey Aquarius, how's it going? You know, there are times when we start afresh. There's something completely new on the horizon, something that we're preparing for, and that we're ready to just start a new life, a new beginning. And I think you're stepping into something like that these days. If you feel that way, then this reading was probably for you. Well, before I turn the camera on, I like to do a meditation, getting into your frequency. I ask the Oracle for some insight for you, and then I pull an I Ching hexagram, and then later I'll use my own divination system, pull some cards for you, and we'll develop the reading further. But the first thing I saw in my meditation was a cute little brown dog with floppy ears, really happy, his tongue wagging out of his mouth, and he was just running around in circles around his master, and he was just a very happy looking brown dog, very happy with his master. I don't know what that is. Maybe that's significant to you. The next thing that I saw after a couple of minutes was quite different. It was a skull-faced figure in a black hooded robe, kind of like the Grim Reaper, and he was just shrouded in flame. He was like on fire, basically. And he had his hands out, like he was offering you something. And in his right hand was this floating gemstone, like a big, almost diamond shape, like two points, and it was golden in color and kind of translucent and glowing, like something you'd collect in like an old Nintendo 64 game or something. And then in his left hand was another object floating just above the palm of his hand, and it was a small shepherd's cane. You know those canes with the crook in it that, you know, back in the vaudeville era, bad actors and bad comedians would be taken off stage with one of these things, right? So these two objects were floating just above his hands as he was on fire and his, skull face seen out of the hood. And he was trying to like move his left hand over to his right. Felt like he was trying to join his hands together or something. I don't know. He never quite did it. His hands never quite connected. It was kind of like glitching out, I don't know. But yeah, he was trying to move the left hand to the right. So in his left hand was a shepherd's cane and the right was like a gemstone. He was like kind of offering them forward to you. Interesting. And the hexagram I got for you, this was interesting. The initial hexagram here was 50, establishing the new. But every single line was changing, which means we actually don't consult this. And we change each line to its opposite. And here we get hexagram number 3, which is beginning, or jun. It's symbolized by a cloud over thunder. So that's interesting. Establishing the new, switch to its opposite. It's approaching. It's called the approaching hexagram. When each line is opposite, and they're both commensurate. One is establishing the new. One is beginning. And beginning is symbolized by a tiny little blade of grass sticking out of the soil with a very big, deep root. And the root is much, much bigger than the blade of grass. And this shows like it's very early days in its growth, but it has a lot of life force energy. It's very, very strong. There's a lot of preparedness, a lot of power in these roots. There's just an abundance of energy that this blade of grass has at its disposal to grow. And over the winter, the blade of grass starts growing in the spring, but throughout the winter, the seed of its power is there, dormant in the soil. So it's not just like it appears in the spring. It's first dormant under the soil in the winter. And, it has to overcome a great deal in order to grow. Like that little blade of grass has to overcome a lot of soil, that the pressure of the soil. It has to break through that pressure. And in the I Ching, this beginning is usually kind of wrought with difficulties. It's sort of like birth pangs and whatnot, and just setbacks and pressure and things like this. But you know that old saying, anything worth doing isn't going to be easy. And you have to plan and set things in order is what I'm getting. For this new beginning to happen, you can't be careless. You need to gather your strength, and you might need to temporarily accept some unfortunate circumstances. You know, for example, the guy who wrote the I Ching, his name was King Wen, and he wrote the I Ching while imprisoned. He would eventually establish feudal lords, become a king, and then overthrow a tyrannical government. But before he did all that, he was thrown in prison by this tyrannical government at the very beginning of his career to power and to free his people. So, but of course he was eventually successful. Well, his children were eventually successful. He set up his children to be able to overthrow the tyrant. So there's a lot of work that you have to do. He had to set up feudal lords and communications networks. He basically had to build a new society, a new government, a new economic system, and he did all this before he could even think of moving against the tyrant. There was so much work to be done. It took his entire life to do it. Not that what you're working on is going to take your entire life. I'm just illustrating the example of where this symbol comes from. And you might have to accept some unfortunate setbacks during the beginnings here. But that's natural. You know, just take care, tread carefully and wisely, look ahead, be prepared, acknowledge the difficulties and challenges, don't dismiss them, take them seriously. And most importantly, if people offer you help, take it. Have the modesty and, you know, control your pride and just accept the help that you get. And gather information, gather knowledge, make sure your skills are sharp, make sure you know what you're doing, and utilize this abundant energy. You know, the symbol of cloud over thunder, this is like a lot of energy. Cloud and fog and brings rain and saturates everything with water. Thunder saturates everything with sound and vibration. Everything is just saturated with energy. And you're accumulating this strength. So just keep accumulating the strength and bide your time for auspicious circumstances when you can really advance and use that strength. Don't jump the gun. Don't make a move that you're not fully prepared for. Just be alert and aware and make sure your house is in order. Make sure you set everything in order before you really advance forward with what it is that you're working on. So let's get further into this. I have my own divination system here. I've got this cool board that I made, burned some symbols into it. I got 24 symbols on this thing. Each represents like an archetype or an aspect of reality, an important aspect of life. I'm going to spin a coin. The coin is going to point at one of these 24 symbols, and then I'll pull some cards about it. That symbol is going to be what the oracle wants us to focus on for you, the area of your life that's important for you right now to think about, and how it relates to everything so far. So let's develop this reading. What does Aquarius need to know? What does Aquarius need to know, Oracle? All right, what are we looking at here? Anael. Got that one recently for someone else. Well, we're pointing at the symbol here for Anael, the planetary spirit of Venus. Some Venus energy coming in. That mother of the universe, the womb of reality. Maybe there's a new relationship. She's also the goddess of love and bringing people together, harmonious relationships and friendships. She's symbolized by the metal of copper. I'm not sure if that's significant to you. And she is, you know, the Queen of the Night, the mother of reality. Associated with the 3rd and 7th spheres of the Kabbalah. I don't know if you study Kabbalah, but Anael is associated with the womb of reality, Bria, and also the 7th sphere of victory, Netzach. So if you're interested in Kabbalah, you might want to look into the significance of the 3rd and 7th spheres. Yeah, Anael, spirit of Venus, love, motherhood, harmony, good relationships. What does Aquarius need to know about their Venusian life, about Anael? What does Aquarius need to know about Anael? The 8 of Swords. Again, this is hearkening back to the difficulties of the beginning. The birth pangs. A tiny blade of grass that has to deal with a lot of pressure before breaking through. You might still be feeling the pressure. It might still be, winter for you. It might not quite be the thaw of spring just yet. You're feeling a little stuck, particularly in your thoughts. You just need to stick with it. Don't be overwhelmed by the fact that it might still be winter for you and the soil is still frozen and your power just feels dormant. You probably feel your power bubbling away under the surface and you just like, come on, I just need to break through this ice, but if the blade of grass broke through the ice, the frozen soil in the winter, it would die in the cold air above the soil. The roots would freeze and it would not be good if that blade of grass broke through during the winter months. It has to wait for the springtime. Absolutely crucial that its energy is nurtured and gestates in that frozen winter and lies dormant for a while as it just gathers its strength as the roots grow a little bit deeper. So just hang in there. It's not the end of the world. Your spring is coming. This is referring to just something that you're feeling, that you're feeling overwhelmed. But your roots, you're just roots in the frozen soil. It's totally natural. It's not anything to worry about. You're not actually stuck. It's just not the auspicious moment to advance yet. And I think you'll be grateful if you don't make any rash moves. You'll probably see that waiting, well, not just waiting, you're not just waiting. You're gathering strength, you're learning, you're gathering knowledge, you're accepting help from people, you're setting things in order, you're communicating with people, you're setting up your networks, whatever it is you have to do. You're not just waiting frozen. It probably just feels like you are because nothing's really come of it yet. And maybe there are people that are just not working as hard as you, or they don't care as much as you about what you're doing, and it's very frustrating. And I understand how that feels. Trust me, I've been there. I've worked in many projects with many different people, and yeah, a lot of the times other people lack enthusiasm, and their lack of enthusiasm holds you back. Sometimes I'm the guy who lacks the enthusiasm, and I hold others back, and that's my issue that I need to work on. But yeah, I'm getting that you're just feeling the 8 of Swords, but it's just in your head. It's just the winter time. You just gotta wait for the spring, and it'll all come together. Just, don't sit on your thumbs. Do what you can, but don't get frustrated. Try not to feel like you're trapped and stuck. You're gestating. It's all nurturing. It's all coming together. I'm gonna pull another card for you. What does Aquarius need to know about Anael and the 8 of Swords in reference to their new beginning? What does Aquarius need to know about this? It's way too many. Disguise wanted to show itself. Habituum. Habits, hiding behind habits, maybe. It's something you might want to think about. What is it? It's this one. Oh, wow. It's the same one. It really wanted to show itself. Okay. We'll take it. Yeah. So this has to do, this is Habitum also means habitat, where you live. It translates also as disguise, meaning like you can hide in your comfort zone. You know, sometimes we don't want to leave our comfort zone. That could be another thing that you're dealing with this Eight of Swords, is that you're in a comfort zone and maybe you've trapped yourself. You know, maybe you've created your own winter conditions and you've frozen yourself because you're very, very comfortable in your comfort zone. You hide, you wear a disguise. You might even hide this fact from yourself, that you don't want to accept that you're in a comfort zone, or you don't want to accept that you prefer it there. You're trying to break free from your own illusions. You may have created your own illusions in your life. And that's okay, we all do. There's nothing to feel guilty about. But this shows me that you're realizing it. You know, the Eight of Swords coming out with this. You're realizing that, you know, like you can lie to others, but you shouldn't lie to yourself. You know what I mean? And you know, your habitat is your habitat. It's not something bad. It's just, you don't want to stagnate there. You know, you're feeling like you're stagnating and that you need to move and change and do something. I can relate to that. I think most people can at different times in their lives. And I think you're really waking up to that in a real way, that like, it's time to knuckle down and get everything in order so that you can break free. You're feeling that need to break free and stop hiding who you really are. Maybe you don't want your comfort zone anymore. Maybe your comfort zone is now a prison. Nobody even knows who you are. You've disguised yourself from yourself. You've disguised yourself from others, and you're hiding everything, and you don't want to anymore. Maybe you've been afraid of judgment. You've been afraid of what others will think if you truly step into what you want to do with your life. Like, oh, he's into some weird stuff. That's unusual and unconventional, blah, 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 poo-poo on that. And you don't want to deal with that. Trust me, I could relate. But that's a prison. That's a type of prison. It's a prison you've set for yourself, worrying about what others think. Others put you in that prison because of what they think. But, you know, others will always try to create that prison for you. It's an illusory prison. It's not real. It's only a prison for you to the extent that you allow it to be. As soon as you achieve what I call, pardon my French, the exalted state of not giving a fuckness, you gain like 80% of your freedom back immediately. The other 20% is just, you know, random crap that we deal with in life. But most of your freedom can come from the state of just not giving a crap what other people think. And that Eight of Swords will vanish, and you'll take off the disguise, you'll stop wearing the mask, and you'll be who you truly are, who you're meant to be. And you'll be much more happy and much more powerful because of it. All right, I'm gonna pull one last token. I carved 64 tokens to go with my divination system, each a special symbol. One last thing for Aquarius. Eight of Swords, Habitum, Anael, New Beginning. Let's see. What does Aquarius need to know? So here, we have the honeybee. Number 4. This is somewhat related to the Empress in the tarot deck. Somewhat inspired by that. This fertility, this blossoming, this creating the alchemical gold, the elixir of life, the royal jelly. Union, divine union. The birds and the bees, you know, that the bee collecting nectar from the flower, spreading the pollen around, fertilizing, and just bringing life to everything. This is telling me, like, your springtime is just around the corner. You're getting there. You're about to break free from this whole prison, this nonsense, this winter time. The frozen soil is about to thaw for you in a big way, and you're gonna be this abundant, gravity-defying bee that can just bring life to everything around you, bring fruitfulness to everything you touch. and then create that alchemical gold naturally and effortlessly like honeybees do. They just do it because it's in their nature to create alchemical gold, the royal jelly, the elixir of life. It's this new beginning is this is for you. This is, you're on the right path. Like, oof, I got chills. Oh my God, I'm covered in goosebumps. You're on the perfect path for you. Achieve the exalted state of I don't give a damn what you think, and the winter will turn to spring, that soil will thaw, your abundant energy will blossom forth into the spring and into the summer, and you will bear wonderful fruit. You've got nothing to worry about. You just got to get through this cold snap. You just got to get through this little stuck season that you're in, these little birth pangs that you're experiencing, but it's just the natural birth pangs, the natural adversity that you feel when you start something new. Nothing you can't handle. This is all under your control. You got this. There are no significant obstacles here except the ones in your head, which you can solve immediately as soon as you choose to. And maybe some minor external ones, but like I said, just the regular natural problems of having a new beginning. The regular setbacks, the regular difficulties that come with it. Nothing that's going to defeat you, not even freaking close. All right, Aquarius, I think that's all the Oracle and I have for you today. It's been great hanging out with you. It's good to see you. And I hope to see you again soon. Take care.